The focus this morning, of course, apart from SAA, is on what's happening with the drought situation in the Eastern Cape. And Leanne Mannes this morning is in the Drought District Municipality in Graaff-Reinet, to be particular. Leanne, good morning. And it looks absolutely arid where you're at least from the pictures that we're getting. It's over to you. Do tell us more about what's happening in Graaff-Reinet.
Sakina, a very, very good morning to you, and a good morning to South Africa as well. I have to tell you, this has to be one of the most depressing scenes I have ever witnessed in our country before. This, where I'm standing right now, is the Ngweba Dam. This is a dam. I am standing in the center of a dam that has absolutely 100% dried up. In fact, where I'm standing, I'm busy looking at, these are basically bones of dead fish that I'm actually lifting here. I'm not too sure. Obviously, I'll come a bit closer to the cameras and you'll be able to see it. But I wanted to just give you a sense of the devastation from drought. There is absolutely not a drop of rain except clay. I'm busy walking on the clay where the river, or where a dam actually, and water used to flow. This has to be an alarm bell that must ring in every single one of our heads at a very, very high and a massive volume, because this is what a lot of people are saying is the future. If we don't take care of our climate and climate change and all other issues, this is what we're going to see. Now, this particular area, we're just in Graaff-Reinet, and the Ngweba Dam is basically something that supplies about 40,000 of its residents, has run dry. So there is no water to supply the residents. So what you find now is that the gift of the givers have come through. They are assisting. The boreholes, the water there is also not fit for consumption. So they can't use the boreholes due to maintenance and other issues. I'm walking very, very carefully because I can promise you one thing: if something like this collapses, I go down with it. But I really wanted to give you a sense of how dire the situation is. In fact, standing just around the corner from where we are, I'm hoping I'll be able to move over there a bit later on in the broadcast, there are dead carcasses of animals. Obviously, some animals had come around here to try and drink some water. They got stuck in this silt or clay. They couldn't move, and then they obviously died of thirst, starvation, you name it. They couldn't move. But talking about fish, I mean, I know that 75,000 dead fish were recently removed from here because the smell was making everybody in the area feeling absolutely sick, and of course illnesses from there. So, you know, you can actually still see a couple of the remnants of it. I was picking one up a bit earlier, but here is very much so what I'm talking about. You can actually see some of the bones here. But this is a scene of devastation. This is a scene of something that you hope that you never ever get to witness. The people in the area are devastated. They don't know what to do. And so today what we've done is we've brought our cameras here to Graaff-Reinet. This is a story throughout the Eastern Cape. It's quite incredible actually how when the Western Cape was going through what they went through, the publicity around that was enormous, and wherever you went there were warnings, there were stories, there was a countdown to day zero. But in my opinion, what's happening here is far worse. And are we talking about this enough? I don't think so. I really don't think so. Well, today we're going to break that silence, and we're going to talk about what needs to be done. These warning signs were here from 5 years ago. People were saying, please, we need to do something. Something needs to be done. We're running out of water, and those signs were ignored. And look at us today, standing in a dam that has not got a drop of water. And as I mentioned, this is not just this dam. The entire Eastern Cape area is struggling. And Lerato Fikile put together an insert for us to give us a glimpse into what is happening in this province. Take a look.
This area is home to a large farming community. Farmers across the drought-stricken Eastern Cape need 30 million rand daily in supplement feed to keep their animals alive and productive. Johannes van Rensburg has been farming for most of his life. He says it is the worst drought in over 40 years.
It was just like the normal droughts we had. Right? Yeah, it would have lasted 3 years.
Sure.
And we would have gone through it. We would have a few losses, but we would have coped.
Sure.
But we cannot cope. We as as this generation of people, no one else can tell us what to do.
He has been forced to prioritize what animals to feed, but sadly for some, it is not enough.
You must also take into account that 40% of the farmers cannot buy that fodder. Their books are full at the co-ops, so in other words, I cannot spend money there. So what is the real impact? The real impact is that the farmers are in dire straits. If you cannot feed your animals, you will not have a production in the next year.
The gift of the givers threw the town a lifeline when they found borehole water. But the demand is greater than the supply.
We are employing specialists to advise us both on the immediate short-term water supply crisis, because it is a crisis, and then medium and long-term. It would probably be a 10-year plan with immediate solutions for now, and then long-term solutions for future water supply.
It's not only the farmers who are feeling the heat. It's midday, and Henry Clausen has been up for hours. Exhausted and thirsty, all he wants is a glass of water. The mercury has hit 30 degrees and climbing.
It's really hard to cope without water. In the morning when we have to prepare kids for school, there is no water. In the afternoon when it comes back, it is green and it stinks and we have to boil it. It is really hard.
In this area, going for up to 7 days without water is nothing new. The last time the taps are running was 4 days ago. It means a long walk to town for water.
When we have to cook, I have to go down. If I'm having an old car, that one is staying next door. I must drive or must go and pick up with some old buckets. Then I must go and pick up water so that I must have water to pick up. Even if to go to the private toilet, it's like that. I'm supposed to go to the downtown, then it's to the town. Then we have water there.
The boreholes cannot cope with the demand. A few months ago, the municipality was here to drill boreholes, but it hasn't helped. The water that comes out from there is dirty and making us sick. Half the time, most of us at the clinic because of the water. They need another solution. This one isn't working.
I don't know how they expect us to survive without water. We sometimes have to go to work without having to take a bath, stinking because there is no water. I don't know how they expect us to carry on like this. This isn't fair.
The South African Weather Services and departmental scientists predict an above-average rainfall in most parts of the country between December and February 2020. However, the latest report on dam levels by the Department of Water and Sanitation suggests that the country's water situation continues to deteriorate at a rate of losing 1% water a week due to the searing heat wave. This is Gqabi Dam, which in 2012 was overflowing, but now is dry and empty due to decreased rainfall in this area. With no water in this dam, no sufficient boreholes in the town, and no rain predicted in the near future, residents here are appealing to local government to come up with strategies to deal with this dire crisis. Drought, SABC News, Graaff-Reinet.